March 2nd, 2017. It's burned into my mind. I'm sorry. I did a radio show. You may have heard me talk about this. You probably listened to it on the internet. March 5th, I went on Fox and Friends. After that, I went on, I think it was Fox and Friends Sunday. After that, I went on Hannity that night. And what I exposed was that there was spying and leaking going on. From the FBI, the FISA court, something was going on. I had the general parameters by pulling together about 12 exhibits of news articles because they were leaking. Now, I came under vicious assault from every major news organization in America, the Associated Press and Reuters, NBC and ABC and CBS, CNN and MSNBC, and almost no backing from people in my business, radio, because unfortunately, other than a handful of them, they're mostly cowards, to be perfectly honest with you. And they didn't want to go out on the limb. But there was no limb. I was using public information. Now, why am I bringing all this up? Because at the time I said, and I was asked, particularly on Fox and Friends Sunday that Sunday, did Obama know? I said he had to know. It was too ubiquitous, and number two, it was in the newspapers. Obama had to know. The media had no interest in any of this. Do you know why? Because they were co-conspirators. They were fielding all the leaks from the FBI and the intelligence agencies. They were fielding all the leaks from the White House and the Hillary Clinton campaign and the DNC. They were running wild with this stuff. They were handing out Pulitzer Prizes for this stuff. Shocking, the media's role in all of this. And it was always a lie. The President of the United States was a victim. The criminal investigations, where they tried to set him up with an obstruction or perjury charge in a case that shouldn't even have existed, where they were trying to set him up for impeachment based on what Hillary Clinton did, as you're about to see. And even now, the major news networks are not even covering the shocking information that has now been released by the Director of National Intelligence. It was sat on for years. And for years, the Intelligence Committee in the House, which was run by Nunes under the Republicans at one point, and the one in the Senate was run by Burr, who's kind of hiding now because he's under investigation for financial violations. They were never given to them. Hillary Clinton and her campaign in early summer 2016, well before the general election, they hatched this plot to push out propaganda that the Russians were colluding with Donald Trump in order to distract all the attention at that point from her own serious problems involving her emails and her servers. John Brennan is informed about this by his own intelligence service. How do they know? Well, based on last week's disclosure, they hear about it mostly from the Russians. Brennan briefs Barack Obama, the President of the United States, on what's taking place. And then the matter is sent to the FBI. And when you put the rest of the pieces together, you see how disgusting this is. This is like a Soviet Stalinist play against your opponents. They put spies into the Trump campaign. Why? They knew this was a Hillary Clinton very dirty trick. They lied to the FISA court to get a warrant against Carter Page, who was really a low-level operative. They got that 4 times, even after the election. They used a dossier, which we know from other information that's been released. They knew the dossier was produced by a Russian spy. It was disinformation. They used that dossier to get a warrant. They used that dossier to interview the President of the United States, to try and unravel him and unnerve him, and to create some kind of legal situation. We also know that on January 5th, 2017, after the election, but before President Trump's inauguration, Obama was briefed again. And in his office was Joe Biden. James Comey was in there. The acting Attorney General of the United States was in there, Yates. Susan Rice was in there, others perhaps. And we see the notes from that meeting because they were released not too long ago. And what do we find? We find the Vice President of the United States, who's now running for President, Joe Biden, urging an investigation, particularly of Michael Flynn, claiming he had some kind of a collusion relationship with the Russians, which he clearly did not. Even the initial FBI investigators and interviewers knew he did not. And what does Biden say? He says, the Logan Act. The Logan Act, which hasn't been used to prosecute anybody since it was first put in place, I think, during Thomas Jefferson's presidency, because it's unconstitutional. So they wanted a pretext to be used as a predicate to conduct a criminal investigation, and they did use it. And so now we know, as a matter of fact, it went to the highest levels of the government, the Obama administration, Barack Obama. Biden knew some, if not all of it. He plays dumb. He gets away with the rope, but I can't remember. And then all of a sudden, when it comes to policy, he remembers every detail. This is huge. And on top of this, this information was not provided to investigative committees of Congress. It was sat on. And if Biden wins, God forbid, you can be sure that whatever is left in the files will be destroyed. They'll never see the light of day. And yet this is the most corrupt thing that's ever occurred in politics. This makes Watergate look like a joke. That's why Woodward and Bernstein have no integrity and no credibility whatsoever. This is massive compared to Watergate or anything else that's happened in this country. All the institutions of law enforcement, the intelligence agencies, the criminalization against the victim, the effort to impeach him over this initially, waiting around for the Mueller report, Mueller's team, the hiring of one left-wing goon after another, whose phones are now have been cleaned, so we can't see who they were talking to and texting to. And I'm supposed to sit here and worry about how many times Donald Trump's interviewed in a debate. Hey, did you know Donald Trump interviewed in the debate 151.5 times? Unbelievable. We've never seen anything like this in the world. Same damn media that's been lying to us and trying to destroy this president from day one.
Want to see more? Sign up for Levin TV.